The judge presiding over Lil Durk's case has publicly condemned federal agents for fabricating evidence in an attempt to keep the rapper behind bars, warning that they themselves will rot in jail for their actions. This bombshell ruling not only clears Durk's name once and for all, but sends shockwaves through a justice system already under scrutiny for corruption and racial bias. This is the kind of story that sounds too wild to be real, like something ripped from the pages of a Hollywood script. But make no mistake, this is real life, and it's shaking the very foundation of trust in the American justice system. The judge in Lil Durk's case has officially exposed what many fans and insiders had suspected for a long time: that federal agents, acting outside the bounds of law and integrity, tried to sabotage Durk's freedom with fake, manufactured evidence. And when the truth came out, the judge didn't just dismiss the lies. He looked the feds dead in the eye and told them they would rot in jail for what they tried to do. Let's rewind for a second, because to fully understand the magnitude of this moment, you have to understand the full story behind it. Lil Durk, one of the most influential voices in modern hip-hop, has never had an easy path. From his early days on the gritty streets of Chicago to becoming a multi-platinum artist with a loyal fan base across the globe, Durk has battled obstacles both personal and systemic. The streets shaped him, but the system tried to break him. This isn't just another rapper or rap sheet. This is a man who, time and time again, found himself targeted by institutions that saw a young, successful black man and decided that was a threat that needed to be neutralized. Durk's latest legal saga started like so many others in hip-hop, with an arrest that raised more questions than answers. After being held in connection with an alleged shooting, Durk spent months fighting to clear his name. His legal team, which includes some of the most aggressive defense attorneys in the game, poked hole after hole in the prosecution's narrative. Things were looking good. The case was unraveling. The judge was leaning toward release. Then out of nowhere came a new wave of so-called evidence from a faction of federal agents who claimed to have new footage, new statements, and new proof tying Durk to the crime. Only none of it was real. That's right. The evidence wasn't just weak. It was completely fabricated. Forensic experts tore it apart. Video timestamps were mismatched. Alleged witness statements turned out to be fake or coerced. Even the locations didn't match the actual crime scene. It was a blatant, bold, and reckless attempt by rogue federal agents to paint a picture of guilt where none existed. And had it not been for the relentless digging of Durk's legal team and a judge who actually still believes in justice, this could have ended very differently. The courtroom, we're told, was electric when the truth finally came out. Not only did the judge dismiss the fabricated evidence, but he addressed the federal agents directly, something rarely seen in such high-profile cases. He accused them of undermining the law, of weaponizing their power against an innocent man, and of trying to rob someone of his freedom based on personal bias and a thirst for control. Then came the line that set social media on fire. "You will rot in jail for what you've done." Let that sink in. This wasn't just a slap on the wrist. This wasn't a do better next time. This was a promise of accountability from one of the highest seats of legal power. The judge didn't just believe Durk was innocent. He believed that what happened to him was criminal, and not by street standards, but by the law these agents swore to uphold. Fans erupted. The hashtag Free Durk transformed overnight into hashtag Justice for Durk and hashtag Lock Them Feds Up. For years, the hip-hop community has spoken out against corrupt law enforcement practices that disproportionately target black men, especially successful ones. This moment validated years of suspicion and anger. It wasn't paranoia. It wasn't drama. It was the truth, and it came from the bench. But let's not forget the emotional toll this entire ordeal took on Durk. Here's a man who built everything from the ground up. Every dollar, every platinum plaque, every sold-out show was a product of grind, pain, and resilience. Being locked up again, not because of something he did, but because someone decided he should be punished for who he is, was more than just a legal issue. It was psychological warfare. It was an attempt to strip him of his humanity. Sources close to Durk say he's relieved, but not surprised. He knew the truth would eventually come out. What did surprise him, though, was a judge's boldness in calling out the system so openly. Durk's been through hell, one insider told us. He lost brothers, he lost friends, he almost lost his freedom. Again, But to see the judge stand up and say enough is enough, that's historic. That don't happen every day. This moment could become a legal precedent. Already, civil rights attorneys and watchdog groups are circling the case, saying it could open the door for broader investigations into systemic corruption within federal law enforcement. Some are calling for the agents involved to be criminally charged and banned from public service. Others are calling for sweeping reforms in how evidence is handled, verified, and presented, especially in high-stakes cases with national media attention. And where does Durk go from here? Well, if you followed his career, you already know the answer. He goes straight back to the booth, straight back to the stage, straight back